The police were called on a group of African American children mowing a lawn. But this story actually has a happy ending. You're watching What's Trending. I'm Martine Bierman. Make sure to subscribe for more stories that make you go, what the actual f***? When Lucille Holt-Colden spotted 12-year-old Reggie Fields and his friends outside a store with a bunch of lawn mowing equipment, she was impressed and invited them to come back to her house and mow her lawn. She was so supportive of them, she even went live on Facebook to talk about it. Just like a little at-home home and garden channel. Just live.
All young people ain't out here doing wrong. He's struggling a little bit, but he's doing his thing.
It was an inspiring moment to watch a bunch of young kids just get out there, get into that American spirit and be entrepreneurs, and then someone had to come along and f it up. But as we've come to expect here in the good old US of A, if black people are doing harmless things, there's usually police right around the corner.
Either go inside or around the corner or something so that way you guys don't have to look at each other while I talk to you.
Why?
Because I don't want it to turn into anything. I'm trying to make it easy on everybody. It's up to you where we go. I just don't want to have you guys out here in the middle of each other's face.
Yup, a next door neighbor called the police because she believed the kids, who were all between the ages of 8 and 12, were accidentally mowing some of her lawn in addition to her neighbors. Holt-Colden told the New York Times, if they would have been 4 white children, the police would have not been called. A lot of it is racially motivated. Plus, like, damn lady, there's a good chance they were even doing you a favor. And you watch the news, because we are right here with What's Trending, and you've seen that in the US there's been a string of viral incidents in which the police have been called on black people who are doing totally innocuous things. Like barbecuing, or selling water on the street, hanging out in a Starbucks, napping in a college dorm. The list goes on, and then of course, the person who called the police ultimately claims it was not racially motivated at all. Neighbor Linda Kirkora, dubbed Lawnmower Linda on Facebook, told the New York Times, the police were not called on the young boy, the police were called on the garbage I have next door. We called the police to ask the woman to have the kids stop mowing on our property because we can't talk to her. I don't have an issue with color or I would have moved years ago. Holt-Colden says Kirkora has called the police on her multiple times, once when her kids were having a snowball fight, and another time when one of her children was crying during a punishment.
They call the police for everything. They called the police because my kids was throwing snowballs. They called the police because my child was crying because he was getting a whipping. Who does that?
Okay, so we're gonna deal with the whole like physically punishing your kids a totally different time, but I'm pretty sure that having a segment of your lawn mistakenly mowed by, I don't know, 8 and 12-year-old kids is not reason to call the cops. And calling the cops on kids isn't just rude, it can also be dangerous. All you have to do is take a look at the frequency with which young black men in the US are shot and killed by police to recognize that making that call when it's not necessary could actually be putting innocent lives in danger. Regardless, we don't want this to be a video about the same things that we've gone over endlessly here with What's Trending. Instead, let's focus on something really positive that came of this story, which is that Reggie's business is now booming. 12-year-old Reggie Fields runs his own business page on Facebook, and Mr. Reggie's lawn cutting service is getting a ton of business since he went viral. Reggie takes appointments for his services, and he guarantees he'll be on time. A GoFundMe to support Reggie's business has already raised over $40,000. Who needs Shark Tank when you have a crazy racist neighbor? How sad is that? And according to Reggie's mother, Brandy, he has his sights set on expansion. He wants to do it all year round. He wants to rake leaves. He wants to snowblow. He wants to do it all. He said something about opening up a store that sells parts. He has his mind set. Brandy even admitted that having the police called on him may be a benefit to Reggie in the long run. Of the neighbors who called the police, she said, I want to go over there and introduce myself. I want to thank them because they gave my son exposure, but I want them to learn to be open-minded. And to be quite honest, I like the way that this mom is dealing with this. She's open. She's not saying that if this woman was to apologize, she would say absolutely not and not accept it, but she seems to almost be imparting a lesson on her own child by being like, I want this woman to kind of work around her perspectives here and think about what she's done. And that might actually be a little easier this time around. Linda Kirkora has avoided much of the public shaming faced by Barbecue Becky and Permit Patty, and looking at these photos of Reggie and his friends, it's genuinely hard not to root for them. Even a police officer visited Reggie to pass on positive messages of support their department had received about him. Yeah, because it was totally unnecessary to call the cops. What happened to good old face-to-face, hey guys, like, those are my petunias right there. Those are my azaleas. If you could just like, just stay within a feet of them, I'd really appreciate that. What do you guys think? Do you think this story could help heal some of America's racial divide? I'm hoping so. But let us know in the comments, and for more trends, head to whatstrending.com.